is now the ultimate power in the universe.
What is up, everybody? Look at this wonderful panel. I am Ro, the Book of BoBF, welcoming all of you, both in the panel and in the chat, to another edition of our little show we like to call BoBF Refresh, a little review of last week's episode of the Book of BoBF. And I have quite an array of characters up in here. Check this out. We got Sean from Extra Techie, Mr. Star Wars himself, and exactly, and the boys from the Escape Pod, all three of them. What's up, guys?
What's going on, dude?
How you doing?
Excellent. And we have a healthy group of wonderful people in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Sunday, January 23rd. Before we get into our discussion, I want to do some quick little announcements. Where's my announcement notes? Here we go. I just wanted to give a little shout out to a new friend, Melanie Price. She had some very kind words for us regarding the podcast and the network as a whole. She says that we're partly responsible for bringing her back into the fandom. Which is nice to hear. There's no yelling, no hounding you over opinions. Which is kind of cool. It's something that Brad and I, strived for when we created the Scarif podcast many moons ago. And conversely, the Red 5 Network, we all like to get together and talk about all the geek stuff without yelling. But really nice to hear. So thank you very much, Melanie, for that. The check is in the mail.
Not much of a check.
Right, yeah, exactly. But I also wanted to welcome officially on the air, our new Red 5 member show, After the Weekend. I'm wearing one of their shirts right now. Let's see here.
You got that already?
Yeah. So,
Medium.
well, here's the funny thing. I mean, we're all about the initials, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Let's see, ASW, right? Until you change it.
Well, you're in luck. Guess what?
We have an exclusive?
Exclusive breaking.
Oh, nice.
Extra Star Wars.
Listen,
Very nice. Very nice.
I couldn't stand changing accounts and then having a random A, and I was done with it. I'm sorry, everybody. But you have now entered Extra Star Wars because that's it. That's just what I have to be, and it's the brand now, and I'm pissed at it, and I know I'm going to get flamed the entire night. But hey, we're here. We're doing it.
I
Thank you.
just want you to find yourself, Sean.
I'm trying
Right.
to.
Exactly.
I'm trying to.
Exactly.
Need a
So that's
holophon.
really nice. Really nice. Very
Actually,
nice.
I do like that. If you settle on that little consolidation.
2022 ESW for now.
ESW.
That's too funny. But yeah, After the Weekend, we've got our friends Maria, the Geeky Crochet, and R2 the Icky. They have a YouTube show reviewing and discussing movies of their youth, the 80s and 90s. Give them a follow, please. Hit them up and subscribe to their show. I think they would be here, but they're on at the same time that we are. I think R2 the Icky and Mrs. R2 the Icky, they're talking about, what are they reviewing? Us that have kids. We kind of grew up with, what is their show? The Mr. Poopy Pants book series.
The what now?
It has to do with pants. I know that.
Captain Underpants?
Yeah, there you go. Captain Underpants. Yeah. So us dads who still had kids of that age remember Captain Underpants. Pretty awesome. So they're going to be talking about that with their kid, and it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
As far as some Star Wars news, I think the only thing that really hit big time was a little casting news for Ahsoka. Do you guys know about that?
Yes.
Mary Elizabeth, and help me out with the pronunciation of her third name, Winstead or Winstead? Winstead, right?
I think it's Winstead.
Yeah.
I think she's British.
Oh, really?
It's Winstead.
Excellent.
She's Ewan McGregor's lady friend.
Yeah.
Like for real or some in a movie?
No,
Like,
like
for
for
real.
real. That's they have a kid together.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Winstead.
A little
And now she's in
Jedi.
Star Wars.
A little Jedi. Yes. I think before
Winstead McGregor.
very nice. Before all is said and done, we'll all be in Star Wars because it's just going to keep going. But any predictions as to what character she's going to play? I know we've had some rumblings on the interwebs.
I haven't a clue.
I have no clue. I'm not paying attention to any of the rumor mills.
She could play one of the Night Sisters, maybe, or
Oh, that would be cool.
something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe from Fallen Order. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Very nice. All right. Sounds good. We'll have to wait and see. Ahsoka, I think we're not even started shooting yet.
No.
I think soon.
Very soon.
Very soon. And speaking of new projects, this week we had an announcement on the runtime of The Batman. What do you guys think of that? Almost 3 hours long.
I don't think it's going to be enough Batman.
I love it. I'm
Yeah.
one of those people. Feed this baby bird. Give it to me all. I want it.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Yeah.
Now, I think maybe if we break 3 hours, we're going to have to start putting intermissions in these things.
Could be. Yeah.
That's just your weak bladder talking. Don't worry about
Exactly.
I'm old.
Or just walk in with a colostomy bag or something.
it. Just a little extra bottle. You'll be all right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like an empty Gatorade bottle.
Yeah.
Wide mouth, of course.
Of course.
Right.
Exactly. So what's going on in the rest of the world with you guys? Big Lovin', Dragon Buddy, Della, Snooch. What are you guys up to? I know. Oh, you guys just had no. That was Sidebar. But I was thinking they had their music episode, which was a lot of fun. Somebody was live tweeting it during that time. It was really. I was watching all the stuff, and that's we should do a lot more of that. Try to see if we can get people to live tweet some of our live shows. That was really cool.
Mm.
Yep.
So what's going on in the escape pod world?
We're going back to the mid 80s this week.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
I haven't left the mid 80s. Or so my wife tells me all the time.
The more of these movies I watch, the more I want to go back.
Right.
Yeah,
we want to make cinema great again, apparently.
exactly.
We're going to be talking about the Explorers and Space Camp this week.
Oh, very nice. Oh, Space Camp. I forgot about that one. I remember the Explorers.
Like Brady figured out that's got a John Williams score.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That blew my mind.
Wow. Huh. I have to look that up. What? Wow. My
YouTube.
mind is just blown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free.
It's on YouTube for free.
Very nice. Cool.
And it's actually a really good copy. It's not grainy and garbagey.
No, it's
Very
solid.
nice. Cool. Excellent. And Mr. Sean just finished your breakdown of last week's episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Real nice work. There was a couple of times when I was like yelling at the radio because I listened to it in the car, and I'm like yelling at the radio and talking back to your cohorts, which is funny because I tend to do that a lot when I listen to a lot of the podcasts. It's sometimes it's this, and sometimes it's that. So it just depends. Any other news that you guys want to talk about before we get into it? What are some of the craziest Star Wars fan Twitter arguments that you've seen over the last week?
Oh, I stay away from them.
Oh no, they're so much fun sometimes.
It's
Like
a
who would
rabbit
have
hole.
who would have thought zippers would split the fandom once again?
The stuff people get hung up on is just like insane to me.
It's
Right.
wacky. It's wacky packages is what
Like-
it is.
Like last week when everybody was complaining about the Cult of Scaro scooter bikes. That was pushing it. But zippers, seriously.
Someone refresh me. I don't know this zipper argument. What are we talking about? Please help me.
Apparently, somebody screenshot a shot of what's the girl, one of the Mod Squad girls, the one with the robot arm.
Okay.
And she had a leather, like a vest thing, and then there was a zipper like right there, and and somebody was offended that Star Wars had zippers.
Okay, get a life, nerd. Okay, next.
There was one with the straps on how Boba Fett's armor fit, and they were pointing it out, and the guy's got a rocket strapped to his back. Of course, there's more support.
Right. Have you ever like overfilled a backpack? It just starts hanging off.
That's fair.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to our main topic, but let's roll that little intro and let's talk Book of Boba Fett. Let's just cut to the chase. Did you guys like this episode or not?
Absolutely.
Best one so
Absolutely.
far.
A big yes.
A big yes on the Book of Boba Fett. Let's break that down. So, I've heard the argument that this episode should have been the first episode. And there's a lot there to kind of sink our teeth into. There's a lot of information there. Do you guys think that we are done with the little flashbacks of Boba Fett's memories there? First of all, did you like the flashbacks?
Yeah, I think they were necessary.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed the flashbacks. I never really had a problem with them. I think when he gets out of the back of the tank and it's complete, I think that's the, no more dreams, no more going back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. I sort of brought that up on the show as well. And I made a bold claim saying that this episode fully healed the series as well, in addition. So hopefully nothing but up from here.
Nice.
I heard that. And but don't you guys think that it's a little, I don't want to say it's a little too late, but it's a little late in the game halfway through the series if it's going to heal the show? We've got like 3 episodes left. The next 3 episodes better be 2.5 hours long.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Mando spent a good amount of time Ubering for a frog lady, and we had to get through that.
True, yeah.
We had to get through that as a team. So I imagine that we're about to get some CW type crossovers where we're bringing in a team.
Right.
And I mean, if you think of Marvel, Thanos didn't really mean anything until movie 13? So all in good time, they have to tell the story, even though it wasn't the story that most fanboys wanted. This is the story we got. Roll with it. Let's go.
I've enjoyed the ride so far. My only real gripe with the show is just the length of the episodes are so short. Seems like 1 and 2 we should have combined into one. Maybe it was at some point. But that's really my only true complaint about it. I can see the criticisms, but I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah, one of the things that I said before the show dropped, I've said it before, is I was going to be really critical and really hard on this series. We've had a couple of seasons of The Mandalorian. They've kind of ironed everything out. But it almost seems like this show was the experiment even before Mandalorian. There's a lot of things that, to me, didn't gel well enough. Some of the things The Mandalorian did a little better. And I don't know what, that is. But I don't know. I've got really mixed feelings about the show in general. And yes, this episode was probably my favorite one out of everything that we've seen so far. But again, I still have some critiques on it. But I'm really looking forward to the last half of this series. And I know, there were talks that this was a one-off series, the 7 episodes, and that's it. We'll see if they hold to it. It just depends, I guess, on the popularity and what the fan reaction is. I don't know. Let's go around the table and talk about our favorite elements of the episode called, what was it called? The Coming Storm or the Gathering Storm? Sean, let's go backwards. Let's talk with you, Sean. What are your some of your favorite parts, some of the things that you enjoyed on this episode?
Sure, thanks. Thanks for having me, by the way. This is great. A lot of people didn't like the Mod Squad part, and I kind of really liked it. Because the weirder Star Wars can be, the better for me. And you're talking about cybernetics. You're talking about, that's huge in the comics, especially with, I forget what the dude's name, but he was a cybernetic dude that was put up against Vader during, I think, last year's Star Wars series. And of course, we didn't get that in movies. That's no big deal. But we were okay with Luke getting a hand, right? We gave him a hand there, so we accepted it. But like everybody's didn't like the techno. I'm into Eiffel 65. I want all of this stuff. Yeah, yes, they're in a desert. But you don't think this stuff is happening? So for me, yeah, it's a jarring sort of look at the galaxy, but there's all different cultures in there. I loved it. I love the idea of this dude, like underground tattoo parlor, like Matrix style sort of music, and just like, nah, we're just going to enhance you. You're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. You know, I was into the Mod Squad gang for sure.
It really had a Johnny Mnemonic kind of feel.
Right. One of the one of the things that obviously this was the previous episode, but the concept of the Mod Squad is fine. I think the for the most part, my biggest problem with a lot of the show is the execution. Yeah, Luke had a hand, but it wasn't like a modified. It's because it got chopped off, and medically he needed another hand. But I don't know. It's like I said, I think for me, it's really execution. Big love. And what about you?
Oh, I mean, you talk about the Mod Squad stuff specifically. I'm with Extra Techie. I do enjoy it. It's a different aspect. Like you said, to me, it captures a different side of Star Wars that we're not used to seeing, but we do see it in the comic books, like he was stating. I'm all for it. I know a couple people say that the main mod guy was a little off-putting with his hair and stuff like that. They felt it was not Star Wars. I have no problem with it. I think it adds a different element, and I'm all for seeing it.
He was somebody famous, right? Suicidal Tendencies guy.
Yes.
What's his name?
Thundercat.
Right. I love that show.
It's because you like Screaming Ho.
But yeah. Dragon Buddy, what about you?
I really like the connection we saw to the Mandalorian. I knew they were going to blend at some point, but when you see the battle going on in the background, because we rewatched the Mandalorian scene that led us to Fennec, so knowing that that's part of it, and then in the end, the last scene, we're going straight into the Mandalorian theme song. It's now I'm really excited. On top of what's going on, I think they're blending it correctly, and I think that's where our story was trying to bring us, is that they're all connected, and as a one-off season, that's where I think it was going to go.
Yeah, the connection is fine. I think again, for me, it's the execution. It took too long to get here. I think it would have been nice to see the Tusken stuff, like all of it, just at the beginning.
One episode.
Yeah, well, one episode, or maybe I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I'm still excited for the next 3 episodes and see what happens. Della Snooch, what about you? What are some of the things that you have been enjoying, especially on this last episode?
I've really been enjoying the return back to the Godfather style mafia show that we thought we were getting at the beginning. I really didn't enjoy the Tusken Raiders stuff.
You didn't?
I did not.
Okay.
I appreciate it more now. Like I appreciate the reason why they told that part of the story, because there's been things that paid off from that. But damn, did they take a long time to tell us that part of the story. Like,
right, yeah.
There was 40 minutes worth of screen time for something that could have been a 4-minute set of exposition.
Sure.
To piggyback on that in terms of timing, my buddy Mike and we kind of break down the percentages of time spent, and we call it Tuscan time. Tuscan time took 70% average when it was present during the episodes in episode 1 and 2. And then Fennec time, which was just last episode, was almost 74% of the episode. And then you have present time, what they're doing now. So my hope, just like we talked about earlier with 0 flashbacks because we're fully healed, is all of the time will now be present time, with maybe some connections to what he experienced in the past. We're all caught up to Mando timeline, which is great. Dragon Buddy, love the connections there for sure. Love seeing the flares in the background. Not really sure the timing of everything. Did he find her at sunset, sunrise? I don't know if it matters for me in continuity land, but whatever. And then I was truly like not floored, but I got the chills of, the Mando theme, because I thought Boba was coming into Mando. I didn't know Mando was going to make its way over to Boba, because I know they're going to do some crossover events. They just have to. I mean, a movie event, a 2-hour movie with Ahsoka, Boba, and Mando is coming down the line. I know it is. It has to. Straight to Disney Plus would be great. And, that theme coming, I was like, yes, please, bring everybody. Bring grief. Bring it all. Bring Mayfeld. I want it.
I felt so stupid. I did not catch the music cue because I was so into I was so into them talking. Right. I was so into them going back and forth. And then it kind of ended. I'm like, I just started spinning this web of who could be coming. And it's I didn't even catch the musical cue, because if I'd have caught the damn musical cue, I wouldn't have made up all this headcanon of what's going to happen. So I probably ruined it for myself, but that's how it is sometimes.
That's the one cool thing about Star Wars in general, is you really do have to listen to the music, because sometimes it tells you things that the visuals don't. And this is a very perfect example of that. You've got the old themes, the old John Williams themes of the characters in the original trilogy and all throughout the series, the saga. And you really do. You've got to really pay attention. There's some little things that he sneaks in there. And, when I watch all this behind the scenes stuff, I don't know if it's, especially the original trilogy, I don't know if it was George Lucas telling John Williams, I'm thinking about doing this. Can you give the audience a little hint? Or is this just John Williams just doing his thing? Which for me, it would be interesting to find out, which scenario fit there. But you definitely have to listen to the music, because I've always said that the music is another character in Star Wars, and you really have to pay attention to that stuff, which is really cool.
Oh
yeah. Don't feel bad, Brady. I caught when you see the flashes in the sky, you get that Mandalorian shot. I caught that, but at the end, I too was wrapped up into, they're probably gonna call Mando, they're probably gonna call, and I was texting Lunar Girl, and she's like, "Did you catch the music?" I'm like, "Yeah." Through the thing, she's like, "No, at the go back and watch it." I went back and watched it. I'm like, "Okay, now it's definite. Mando's definitely coming, and we could probably get Bo-Katan, and we could."
Oh, dude, I already wrote Clone Force 99 coming in. That's how bad it got in my head. That's where I was at. I was like, well, Fennec Shand met him at one time, but they were not enemies, but now they're buddies, just because I know that's how it's going to happen. I had this whole thing written out.
Does Rex make an appearance? And now Tamora Morrison has to play
I haven't got that far yet, man.
That's awesome.
Sean brings up a very interesting point that I would totally fall in love with, is, these shows are setting something up that we're going to get this massive movie at the end of all this stuff that's straight to Disney Plus. Something where we're going to see everything, almost like, a Star Wars Endgame.
Yep.
You know, I think that would be really awesome.
And guess what? It's going to cost $29.99, and I'm buying it day one. Day
Well,
Exactly.
I really think that television show is the future of Star Wars entertainment. Like, I really think that's the direction. Like, I think we're going to get movies, but they're not going to be near as prevalent as the TV shows. And I think don't give me a 2-hour movie. Give me a 6-episode miniseries where they all come together and it all comes to a head. Give me that. I don't want a 2-hour movie. I want 4 episodes, 6 episodes, 8 episodes. Give me that.
Telling you, the CW crossover events when they did that were awesome. Every single show had an episode that was dedicated to the crossover, which made you had to watch it. It was a brilliant idea because
and now you're doing it with Disney's budget.
Yep.
Give it to me.
They do that in comic books too, where you get like a 6 or 7 book run that tells a sub story.
Yeah,
but it's from multiple different comic book series.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's what I hate the comics sometimes because you go, God damn it. Star Wars Bounty Hunter number 15, and you're like, but there's 16 bounty hunters, and no, I have to buy them all. You know, they really rope you in, man. I can't stand it.
Yeah, with the Disney money, there's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker.
Hey, whoa.
But you know, that's a philosophical thing. What you said, somebody who said it, Big Lovin', regarding not wanting movies anymore and just sticking to Disney, the streaming. I find that statement alarming, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, Star Wars was born in the cinema. There is a certain aspect of Star Wars that I love watching on the big screen. And for me, Star Wars cinema, and I'm going to kind of throw it over to Sean because, Sean, you had said something in your previous episode regarding cheese. And to me, it's kind of related. There is a certain aspect of and I'm going to use the term, but I'm not. It's not what it means. Cheesy cheapness in the streaming shows versus Star Wars, and I think that's my problem. My biggest problem is I'm having trouble quantifying, having to take 2 sets of criteria to critique Star Wars on the small screen versus Star Wars on the big screen. And, you know, my expectations are up here with the quality of the effects, the quality of story, the quality of character, because for whatever reason, you know, I grew up with Star Wars. It is like, for me, it's like the top echelon in geek entertainment. And when I see stuff that doesn't kind of gel with those requirements on my end, i.e. Star Wars streaming, it kind of like bums me out, and it makes me want just to have them stop with the streaming. Let's just get back to movies. I want to see the big budget. I want to see these wide shots. And Sean and I have debated and joked around about the expansiveness of these shots. But that's where I'm coming from. And yes, it's good to see more Star Wars. We're getting more Star Wars. Here's, you know, a couple of different shows, but this is going to sound harsh. It's almost like, don't give me cheap stuff. You know, give me the quality before the quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people would argue with the movies that have come out have been shitty movies. Yeah, they got a great quality to them, but they're a shitty movie. Whereas you got 2 seasons of The Mandalorian where people just rant and rave and love everything that was and is.
Yeah.
Sure, I can definitely see that.
And to your point, the stories they've told on the big screen is like a zip tie. There's only so much you can fit inside that story.
Right.
And we're at the point where we're all tight up against it. So they either have to break it or they have to go in another direction. So I know not a lot of people are hype on High Republic right now, but that is going to lead us into the next trilogies. You know, the long-standing trilogies with the movies, and they're building up all this source material just like Marvel did, right? Difference between Marvel and Star Wars is that Marvel actually used their source material and Star Wars didn't. They're borrowing some aspects of it. And not even a Legends guy. I don't know much about it, but I know they're not using a lot of it just based off of discourse, you know? And High Republic, they're starting this sort of, they're laying the groundwork for stories to be told later. So they're doing it right, but it takes time. And the problem that Star Wars Disney did is they've rushed it hard. And I was on both sides at one point. I was like, it's fine. It's going to be great. We're going to see it 4 times. Now you see it all together and you're like, I don't know if I'm buying that Blu-ray. Right. You know, I don't know if I need to see it again. And if you're saying I don't know if I need to see it again, that tells you everything you need to know about the quality of it.
Right. Exactly.
There's a lot of merit in TV too, where you can tell stories about characters that couldn't particularly draw enough crowd in the theater, like Ahsoka or Boba Fett, or they're important characters to us, but your cousin Tiffany's grandma isn't coming to watch the Boba Fett movie.
Damn her.
Right. I've been meaning to talk to Tiffany about it, but here we are. I just think that there's a place for film and there's a place for these series. It is hard to reconcile the quality standards for one against the other, though. I mean, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, because, I not to beat a dead horse, I see series like Netflix's Lost in Space, and it has what I'm looking for in a Star Wars. It has everything that I want to be in Star Wars. It's just that for some reason, it's not showing up in Star Wars. But I also feel that, obviously they are experimenting with the technology to bring Star Wars level special effects and storytelling to the small screen without spending,
well, that's something I was going to bring up. That was something I was going to bring up too. If you look at Star Wars, when Star Wars first came out, they were game changers in the film industry. They were doing stuff that hadn't been done. You could make the same argument for what's been done on Mandalorian. They're doing stuff on TV that hadn't been done. They're rewriting how TV's going, and that's just moving forward. They're going to get bigger and broader and be able to bring us more and more and more over time. This is just the beginning.
But I don't see that innovation in the Book of Boba Fett. The innovation that I saw in The Mandalorian, the innovation that I saw even in the sequel trilogies to some degree, I'm not seeing a lot of that technological innovation in the Book of Boba Fett. Even storytelling innovation. To me, it's a little truncated. But that's just me.
It's almost like I can kind of see where it was Boba Fett, and he's a big character. He's a character that doesn't have much backstory at all from any of our lore. Any of our what is now canon. So taking him, it was almost like they were a little too careful with him in the first couple episodes on what we're going to make him do, to the point of where he's not flying around on his jetpack, where everybody was kind of expecting him to be some crazy badass from the beginning. And I think it's his rebirth is probably more of the story they're telling, not for what he was, but what he is now. But the storytelling in The Mandalorian was, I think, a little richer as far as getting deep into where we're going, to where this is it's more of a topical story. It doesn't seem as deep as it should, where, I mean, honestly, building up for the Tuskens and becoming one of them and then being wiped out off camera was kind of a gratuitous payoff that I don't think really sat.
Well, yeah.
Before we press too far from there, I'm kind of wondering if Book of Boba Fett is similar to what we see in video game studios when, this studio's working on a AAA title and this studio's working on a AAA title, and one of the other smaller studios that they own doesn't have anything. They have them make a smaller game to just kind of keep everybody working and, to sell a product. I think that they had all of their time and energy going into Mando, Obi-Wan, and this Cassian Andor series, and they kind of gave the B team Boba Fett and said, do something with this.
Dude. This has been my argument for 3 episodes on my own podcast.
Oh, has it?
It's a B production, and once you start seeing it as a B production,
But here's the thing:
it's
I don't want to
good.
see it as a B production.
quiet down over there. Okay, quiet down and listen to the adults now. Okay, it's okay that it's a B roll production because these guys are about to watch Space Camp.
Oh, we already did.
Okay, they're about to talk about Space Camp.
It was glorious.
Right?
Great.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 style. Not saying Book of Boba Fett is that bad, but how can you have 2 greatest bounty hunters ever in the Mandoverse? You can't. Doesn't work.
Yeah, you can.
Right?
You
No, you
can.
can't.
You can.
You cannot. He's
You
dead. He blipped for
can.
5 years. He blipped for 5 years. All right, he's gone. He doesn't exist anymore. So he
He
has
rented
to
out his apartment.
That's right. That's right. They changed the name of his car. Right? No one cares anymore. No one knows who he is. So the rebirth makes sense in that case, but it's a B production. There's weird studs showing. There's screen tearing every once in a while. I can actually see the hamsters rolling the scene in the background, which is a lot of fun. And again, for me, I take it as casual. I like talking in the analytical point of it, but it's like I'm not going to get all hyper about zippers and Starbucks cups. By the way, $1 billion franchise Game of Thrones Starbucks cup. Everybody calm down. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay, there's also magic in Game of Thrones, so maybe they magicked the coffee there. Get over it, all right? But yes, Stella Snooch, we're on the same page. B production.
Well,
Yeah.
You did have Denim Dan in Mandalorian show.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
By a show of hands, and I know what your answers are going to be. I know sometimes I take Star Wars too seriously, right? A little bit? Okay.
It is a kid's show.
It was made for 12-year-olds.
I'm a kid.
Made for 10, 12-year-olds. Come on, bro.
But the chat is on fire here, talking about Shanti saying that she's tired of the excuse that Star Wars is on the small screen. Marvel can do it. Bring the A game to all their streaming shows. Look at the offerings that Marvel has given us. I had a friend, and I told him his idea was bullshit. But I had a friend that said that Disney was sabotaging Star Wars in favor of Marvel. And I'm like, that sounds ridiculous because it's the same family. Mm-hmm. Why would you do that? But the more I see this, the more I start to believe it.
Marvel made 5 series before they even got to the stuff that they're making now. They made 5 series with Netflix, and one of them was Iron Fist. That was raw garbage. Every other scene, the only line in the entire scene was, "I'm Danny Rand."
But to be fair, that was not a Disney Marvel. That was the folks. Netflix, I think, licensed the characters and brought them into the Netflix family.
Marvel worked on those shows with them. They didn't just say, "Here, go take this and do something with it." They actually worked with them on those shows.
Yeah. And that's
All
really
right.
that's the biggest issue is Feige is like, you're going to listen to my words. I've got a bunch of index cards. And here's what we're going to do. Leader. I think in the Star Wars land, when you have this writer doing this and this writer doing that and this writer doing this, fragmentation. Not good. Now, Favreau and Filoni, they're kind of emulating what that's happening, but obviously people aren't really happy with Book. They're the same people that made Mando, and they're going to be the same people that made Ahsoka, right? So you're not going to have a home run every single time. I didn't like Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I thought that series stunk. I thought it could have been a movie instead of a 6-episode series. That's me. I really liked Hawkeye. People didn't like it. People didn't like how they brought Kingpin back into it, and all of a sudden he's got super strength. The dude blipped for 5 years. He doesn't, he's a different character than what we saw in the Netflix series. By the way, awesome that they brought him in. So that's good. So I think it starts in the writer's room, and it starts off with coming out with a consensus. Where do you want to take this story? And you're either going to like it, love it, or hate it.
Well, it's not all going to be gold.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as much as fans we would want every Star Wars show to be gold, it's not going to be that.
Well,
And where would we be if after Mando episode 4 we were like, you know what, this whole series, junk. Like we're just halfway through this story.
Yeah.
All right, let's stop complaining. Let's talk about the rescue of the fire spray gunship. Yeah. What'd you guys think of that?
The unincarcerated one.
Yes. Indentured servant Uno. Yeah.
Not captive.
I mean, the naming of it, obviously, they're doing it on purpose. I know the argument, one side of the argument is, well, I wouldn't tell my friend that to go get Charles, my Chevrolet. My wife names her cars. We had the Dragon, which was a Supreme Cutlass XL, and it was bright red. Nice. If I said, go to the parking lot and get the Dragon, you'd be like, what are you talking about, you psycho? I'd have to tell you the make and model of the car.
I'll say my friends knew the names of our cars.
Well,
chocolate and baby.
I don't have a lot of friends, DB. Thanks for bragging, buddy.
All right, all two, okay?
So they did it on purpose, for sure, right? The first time that this whole fire spray controversy started was during a Lego live conference. I don't know if you watched it. I did the whole thing waiting for the Star Wars stuff. And the guy comes out with the starship, and he goes, this is Boba Fett's starship. And I'm like, is that a mistake? And then all of a sudden you start seeing the tweets, and it was not a mistake. So months ago they had this in circulation, and they were like, oh shit, we did it again. All right, let's just roll with it. Let's do it. I don't care either way, but Mike, my buddy Mike, makes a good point. They didn't not say it was Slave One.
Right.
This is just their way of working around it. Wikipedia, which I had to reread the episode, just kind of get my brain together for tonight. Slave One, Slave One, Slave One, Slave One, all over it, which is fine. I got a Lego box that I probably shouldn't open because it's the 20th anniversary Boba Fett Slave One. Probably shouldn't open it. Sell it for big bucks. Finally get out of this town because I got to get power converters from Tashi Station. All right, good.
It's funny. Getting back to Boba Fett as a character, there's a scene with him and Fennec around singing campfire songs when she was rescued. And that's when he mentioned fire spray. But she asks him, who are you? And he says, I'm Boba Fett. And then she says, nah, Boba Fett is dead. But if you knew enough to know that Boba Fett is dead, wouldn't you also know enough that Boba Fett's ship's name is Slave One? Instead of having Boba Fett say, let's go get my fire spray, venereal disease, as Shanti says, treatment.
No, I agree. I would say I fantasize about Rey Skywalker changing the name of the Falcon to something with like Solo Freighter.
Or what did your buddy say? The decade pigeon?
Right. Yes. Something along those lines, and it would just absolutely make everybody furious. Would people know the Falcon during this time? Probably. I agree with you. Would people know the Ghost? Probably. I tend to agree that Slave One is probably a known name at this point. I mean, people knew the Razor Crest, and we didn't even know about it.
Yeah. And for someone who supposedly told Fennec that it's advantageous to have people think I'm dead, he goes around saying I am Boba Fett a lot, doesn't he?
Even to the robots.
Even to the robots and the Tom and Jerry chases in the kitchen, Jabba's kitchen.
That was the best. People hated
that. Weird
that.
rabbit droid was
that robot. That droid was cool looking.
That's a droid straight from Clone Wars and Animation Studios. So I knew what it was. I didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? Like model and stuff like that. I'm like, that looks very familiar, and I feel like I've seen that before.
Yes,
so
I knew I'd
cool.
seen it before.
And you guys mentioned extra on your show the voice actor that played 88 was pretty dead on. And I know, you guys also mentioned that it's easy to kind of re-synthesize the voice of the torture droid from Return of the Jedi, who was voiced by director Richard Marquand, which was really cool to kind of see him again.
Yeah, he's played by a guy named Matt something or other from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, okay. What'd you guys think of the? Well, first of all, how cool was it to see Jabba's kitchen? What are they cutting up over there?
General Knifus.
I think you mean Clevis.
Clevis. There you go.
Perfect.
So that was the same torture droid, right, from Return of the Jedi, right?
Correct.
Now, do we think that's a promotion or a demotion from the torture chamber to the sous chef?
It's a redistribution.
Is it a lateral movement?
It's a lateral movement because now there's no need for a torture droid because, that's the other thing that bothers me. In Return of the Jedi, there were so many creatures and people in Jabba's palace hanging out, smoking doobies, listening to music, whatever. And one of the reasons that it feels so cheesy and cheap is that now it's always just like 3 people in the room at all times. And it's like, can we just get some extras in here?
Yeah, that's not a bad point. And the fact that they had a feast for 2 people and it looked like Beauty and the Beast enchanted the entire meal.
I wonder how much of that is not wanting to have extra people in the bubble as far as being on set. Like they probably could have, but was it necessary to tell the story? I mean, I don't like that as an answer. I'm just
Sure.
canon.
You talking about COVID restrictions and people on set?
Yeah, because you gotta have all those people test and stuff, and then they don't get to go home to their families. They got to stay there on campus. And,
But there's 17 people behind the camera.
well, those people are all stuck there too. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I think. Maybe they chose to have less moving parts to try and keep people from getting sick.
That's a good.
That's a good point.
It's a valid point for sure.
Sure.
I never even thought about it, and I didn't really think about extras and stuff. I just figured
the scenes where they're outside, there's people.
Sure. Yeah. And I know the Tuscan tent area was shot on a large parking lot in Los Angeles with some blue screen, which is kind of cool. They went back to the blue screen technology and opposed to the green screen, which tells me that they might be shooting film during those sequences. I think they switched to green screen when they started using digital, just because the technicality of it is easier to key on green for digital.
that was a nice lesson. Thank you.
Sure, anytime.
I don't know what I heard him say technical things. And
That's how I felt when you guys were talking about the sports ball before we went
Sports
on.
ball.
Yeah. So
First down.
there you go. So, talking about the any predictions as far as next episode, I know we talked a little bit about the music cues that we may or may not have heard at the end there, like Mr. Lovin', but I think next week is going to be bonkers. And to Sean's point, it might actually be kind of a lead up to a larger 2-parter towards the end.
yeah, maybe.
I think. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know if everyone is showing up, like you said, because obviously during this time there's, it's still like COVID restricted. Although everybody in the Mando cast are wearing masks anyways. Both characters and the actors, I guess. But I don't know. What are your guys' biggest predictions for these final 3 episodes?
Well, I think I already told you my prediction. Everybody's showing up. Clone Force 99, Jesus, everybody's going to be there.
Dengar for sure.
Dengar.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think we got to have some kind of montage of Rancor Nation played to Eye of the Tiger, and they'll change the tune to Eye of the Rancor. And I think it'll be very good to have that because they promised us, right? Smoking gun.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to see some trainings. I need to see some sit and paw and touch and stay.
Wait, that's Chekhov's gun, not smoking gun?
Whatever, man. Who cares?
I didn't even think about that. We might get a scene with Boba riding a Rancor.
We
like
will.
a general.
Yeah, we're getting it.
With all of the muscles stretched out to either side.
In the flying V.
There's going to be a circle camera like in the Avengers.
Oh, yeah.
Come
on your left.
Yes.
Black Stanton.
The Banthas are coming. I mean, they'll be late. They run a little slow. It's no big deal, but they'll get there.
So halfway through the series, if everything that happens, if everything that you guys are talking about happens, Black Chrysanthemum becomes buddies with Boba. Don't you guys think it's like too fast? Because right now they're not. I mean, they're sort of friends, but they just started, and to have them be buddies all of a sudden.
Well, they're going to be paid.
I don't think they're buddies. I think money talks. I think money talks.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah.
At this point,
the treasury is fine.
He said he's got more than enough credit, so he could pay for Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, I mean, with all the water discounts the city's getting, I mean, he's going to be all right.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, you get into that municipality stuff, that can really get expensive.
So, what is the end goal of this series?
I mean, I've toyed with the idea that Boba dies at the end of this, but that would just be throwing gas into the fire. I don't think he will. I don't think he will, just because of my idea of the crossover. But I think he probably ends with the respect of the round table, and they now see him as the leader after he ends up defeating the Pikes. But there's a chance that Fennec turns on him or Fennec dies. They could take out her character, and that would be pretty gut wrenching.
I'm hoping this is just us kind of slowly tiptoeing into the underworld of Star Wars. I really hope that this brings about more, and let's move away, even if it's moving away from Boba Fett and Tatooine. But I would really like to see more underworld Star Wars, a little more dark storylines and whatnot.
But I thought this was going to be that.
Yeah, me too.
Do we think that Disney has the balls to really go deep into the underworld of Star Wars with everything that we know? And I think, we've read a lot about that in the expanded universe. We know what that world is kind of like. Garza, when she was scolding Special K there, right before he ripped the arms off of the, she was basically saying the bad times are behind us. It's so uncivilized. The warrior time is over.
Garza Fwip was talking to all the Star Wars fanboys who believe that the special editions don't exist. You just have to look past the layers, just like how Boba said, "I am not a bounty hunter anymore." He's talking to you, Ro. He's telling you the story. You're just not listening.
And I think that's my point. Totally. Meaning that I just don't think that Disney has the cojones to go super dark in a underworld Star Wars series.
I think we might get a taste of that with seeing the trailer that released for Moon Knight coming out through Marvel.
Yeah.
That's a pretty dark series to tackle as far as storyline goes. We'll see if they can make that work. Then I think they can make Star Wars work.
I think
but why is it working over there and not over here?
Because they got the right teams together. They've been putting this shit together a lot longer than Star Wars has. Star Wars goes back to the 70s, but they haven't been making, I mean, they've been making Marvel movies since what, 2000? 2009 or 99, 2000, whenever Iron Man came out?
Yeah, and they started making Marvel TV like 2011.
Like they've had a jump start and all, and they have the right creatives in the right spots.
And moreover, the source material was the movies.
Yeah.
That was it. A script. So to jump off of that, difficult to create, and then you get everything just said before, you get these stories that may make sense, may not make sense, but who's going to fund them? George Lucas was like, I'm not funding these projects. I'll acknowledge that they exist, but who's going to fund them? So Disney is funding the projects now, but they don't align with the vision that people had written for 25 plus years, maybe longer, 45.
2008, Joker voice. 2008. I thought 2000. Way off.
Oh, yeah, Joker's all over it. He's the human encyclopedia. He knows it all. So I'm grateful for him because he's showing why I shouldn't be on this screen.
True.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, what did you say? 2000?
Yeah. So what? I'm old.
I'm not judging.
Well, in fairness,
it feels so much longer.
It was a Y2K thing, so it went from 2000 to 2008.
It was very convincing, Big Lovin'.
It did feel like that.
It was very convincing. I believed you.
Well, I mean, as far as with COVID,
like,
like everything happened in 2019. Every time I turn around, I'm still thinking it's just now 2020.
Right? Yeah.
2022.
Yeah. The sequel.
Well, we're
true.
hoping the last 3 episodes of this really blow us out of the water to where we can go back and binge episode 1 through 7 and see the whole story.
One of the things that bothered me about the first one is that after watching the first episode, we got 2 halves of a story that weren't complete. And obviously it was short and we wanted more. And I think for a lot of people that set the stage for malcontent fans. Like, why is this so short? What's with the flashbacks? And we kept on getting more flashbacks, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess that's neither here nor there. Now I'm really hoping that the Book of Boba Fett starts to ramp up. I know it took a little dip in the viewership, supposedly, I guess, because those numbers are still kept secret, industry insider information. But there's a couple of articles that claim that viewership has gone down. But I think, like I said, I hope they start to ramp up because I'm always interested in new Star Wars.
I don't think the viewership really went down. I think there were a few people that were like, I'm going to wait until I can binge this because the story was moving too slow for them to do it serially.
But honestly, isn't that the definition of I'm not going to watch anymore? Hence, the viewership went down. Well, whether they're going to wait to watch all of it later, the point at this moment is that they're not watching. So the numbers.
Yeah, that's fair.
The engagement, that's the engagement number. Are you bringing people back week to week? It's the daily user attendance, right? So you log into that app and boom, you went in. And apps really work off of how often that user is on that app, and they want to keep you on that app, and they want to bring you back every single day, every hour. Is this show bringing you back every week, or are you sitting down going, this is a chore?
I think Disney doesn't care. I think Disney just cares if you're paying your fee month to month.
And, with streaming, I think what drives streaming production is new money. Once they have your money, that's it.
Yeah.
They don't care. The advent of streaming is to bring in more subscribers. So you get something new, and that's the biggest reason that they're not, that Ahsoka and Andor and Book of Boba Fett aren't on at the same time, because why waste your yearly inventory like
for
that?
sure.
They're staggering it because
Right.
back in the day when on Showtime, when Dexter went off the air, I stopped subscribing until 3 months later when it was back on. So that's one of the formulas that they want people to stop doing. As soon as Book of Boba Fett comes in, we've got what's the next show? Kenobi?
Andor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless, and it's in my position where I got 2 young daughters at home, $7.99 is easy money to spend because we're
Sure.
consuming so much content in terms
Right.
of just throwing something on. And the bonus is that sometimes I get to watch a show by myself. And that's the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, I was
And
going to
there's
say, do they have those kind of adult things on?
5 a.m. they do. 5 a.m. That's when that happens.
Slow motion.
Sometimes
in the
at night.
sanctuary.
Sometimes at night. But yeah, no, it's what I got a Disney Plus deal back at debut. I bought it for 3 years, $4 a month. So
Nice.
I got it for a song and a dance, in my opinion. Now I know that's coming up for renewal, and I probably don't have that same deal. But I was like $150, $147 for 3 years, and I don't have to think about it. And then looking up at the lineup of shows,
Sure.
kind of stinks with the whole, COVID stuff, because all those shows, some of them been delayed and whatever. But imagine that we would have had more on regular time schedule.
Yeah.
We would have
Right.
had more content to consume there. It's very very interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying the ride so far. And even if I wasn't, I'm married to Lunar Girl, who would make sure that I would enjoy the ride.
Luna Girl, I've never heard of her.
She's on a couple podcasts, and
Is she?
You see her once in a while.
Yeah.
But no, it's like I said, I've been saying since the beginning, I cannot wait until it's all out so I can sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
As one story.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what more it is. It's not. Maybe it's not transferring to a series that well as it should, because it is just one long story that we need to. I can't wait to finish out.
And I think we have to kind of remember the explanation that these folks gave us, that the Mandalorian was going to kind of be like a weekly Western, a weekly adventure, and this and that. I think, the Mandalorian did feel like that, but I think Book of Boba Fett feels like that to a fault. It's like, oh man, what are they going to do now? Why can't we just continue this story? But who knows?
I think episode 4 really finished off with a hook to make us go, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Where 1 through 3 didn't have that real grab you at the end to make you want to come back next week.
Great point.
Yeah. I think they should have had that element at the end of every episode, though.
Oh yeah.
I think Mando had a lot more of that, going through that series than this does. Shanti said it on a previous show that for some people it seems like a chore. It's like, all right, I got to watch this because I got to review it later on. But hopefully this gears up to something good, and we'll all be happier next Sunday.
Yeah.
And not that we're not happy. I think like I said, any new Star Wars, I'm gonna check it out and enjoy it for what it is. But at the same time, I'm also going to be critical because of my personal expectations and my personal level of expectation when it comes to quality, based on the stuff that we've already seen. I mean, Mando was kick-ass. And, some of those episodes really turned out fantastic. And I don't want the Book of Boba Fett to suck at the end of the day, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. If anybody's really concerned about the quality of the Book of Boba Fett, though, they really should go back and watch the holiday special. And it really puts
Puts it into
everything
perspective. Right.
about what's good, what's great, and what's okay.
Yeah,
Fair.
I think there has to be a barometer, right? We can't have always good shows. We can't. And I do like the idea. I mean, 7 episodes is a weird number to start with. So this is just a piece of the Star Wars galaxy. And I think when people think Star Wars, their brain goes to OT. Their brain goes to big hero movies. That's not what they're doing here. Not one time have we seen a scroll going up the screen. Not one time have we seen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. We have new intro titles. Did you notice that they've added a couple characters to those intro titles? You know, we've got more of less budget to work with, but hopefully more story, more in-depth storyline versus, all of a sudden, oh, look, he can double jump. That's great. Let's just fill in all the gaps in our brain and just assume this person knows what they're doing. Here, we're going to get in this step-by-step a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, I think Hawkeye was like this. Like, the first 3 was like, all right, well, what are we doing here? It's not really heating up. And then the last 4 or 5, I was like, it's nice. This is cool story. And then when you watch it all together, you're like, all right, I like it. It's cool. We'll probably get the same here. Giveaway. That's exciting.
I'm looking for something on my desk to give away.
Should give away your used pen.
This Apple phone dongle.
That's nice. That's
it's
a rare.
so hot the way you say dongle.
Say it slower.
Dongle.
Very good.
Oh, so good.
Very good. Hold on.
Oh,
Very nice.
Listen, I got sounders. I just refuse to use them right now. I had a couple queued up like Murky Fen. I wanted to play, but I didn't have a right time to play it. I won't do it.
Dank Ferric.
I got it ready.
Thanks, Ferric.
There it is.
There you go. All right. Well, let's do a quick review. How many stars do you give this last episode? Out of 5.
Okay, thank you. I needed a limit.
7,000.
3.75.
Okay, perfect.
I give it a solid 4.
4. Okay.
I give it a 4.
yeah,
Snooch.
I'm with them. I'm right around, between a 3.75 and a 4. I'm pretty happy.
Okay. Good. Excellent. Yeah, I think that sums up like my feelings on the episode. Like I said, it's probably the one episode that I really enjoyed a lot more for many reasons. I think there were some great plot points and sequences. Jennifer Beals in a white dress. What more can you say?
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
It's quite the deep cut.
It was more of a plunging neckline, actually. Never mind.
Whatever.
All right. So before we take off and say goodbye, I want to do a quick little giveaway for folks of you guys that have been in the chat. You guys have been so good. I'm going to ask a question, and whoever puts the answer up first in the chat gets to have one of these guys. It is part of the bounty collection, the little Grogu. This one with the Mando hat, or Mando helmet that he's playing around with.
While you're doing that, Ro, I've got a. Why don't we have any Book of Boba Fett merchandise?
Good question.
Right?
Really good question.
Going off of your merchandise of Mando, and obviously they didn't really have Mando merchandise before season 1 due to obvious secrets. But there's no secret that Book of Boba Fett was coming out, right? I saw one new Boba Fett doll thing at a Walmart, and then I saw it on my local Target, and it's on the Insta spam. And it's a cute little thing that you can speak into, and it'll say things back to you.
I'm Boba Fett.
Yes.
Does it actually have a Book of Boba Fett logo? Is it an actual product, or is it just a Star Wars, here's Boba Fett?
Hold on.
Because that is an interesting thing, because, I think Disney is really missing the boat on product.
Yes.
And I don't know why.
I want a severed Trandoshan arm.
So,
Yes. Black Series.
merchandise Book of Boba Fett voice cloner Boba Fett repeats what you say with rocket launcher.
Yes.
Because he said it. Yeah, I remember.
Pardon
Okay.
the blue. That's the green screen because I use digital photography.
Very nice.
Thank you. Did
Yeah.
I delay enough for you? I don't know how you're doing this prize thing.
Oh, I have a question for you guys in
Okay.
the chat. So again, I'm going to put this up. Little Grogu number 3 from the Bounty Collection. They are really cute. I have been enjoying sending a lot of these out to some of our patrons and followers. But the question is, in the opening graphics of the Book of Boba Fett, where all the helmets pop up, who is the first helmet and who is the last?
Damn.
Who is the first helmet and who is the last? For this little prize, go ahead and pop it up in the chat and let's see if anybody knows what the answer is. In the meantime, we're going to go around the table and talk about our podcasts and projects, future projects. Big lovin', and the rest of you guys at the Escape Pod, what do you guys have coming up?
Like Don said earlier, we're doing Space Camp and the Explorers this week. Have we figured out what we're doing next week, fellas?
Talking about Rancor titties.
Sold.
Very nice.
I got
don't think
nothing
we have
after
a plan.
that.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I don't think we have a plan after that.
I just want to take credit for Rancor titties in the chat.
Yeah, yes.
Please. Thank you
Yeah,
for
you should.
acknowledging.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you
know
for
I
that.
don't talk
It's-
too
it's-
much in there, but every once in a while I throw something
get some good
so
ones in there.
vulgar that it makes up for all the 313 missed messages.
I think that we need to talk about what the hell's the name of that show now? The one with John Cena in it.
Peacemaker.
Oh,
Peacemaker. We need to do the first 4 episodes of Peacemaker. Holy
I hear good things.
Oh my goodness. Just the intros of the episodes where John Cena's dancing to 80s hair metal. It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers.
I love it. I'll have to catch up on it.
There'd be no way we'd be serious at all for an entire 2-hour segment.
Were we serious tonight? Lord.
This would be buttoned up compared to what that conversation would be like.
Nice.
Where's that show on?
HBO Max.
HBO Max? Okay.
You got to subscribe to that row, by the way.
It is. It is.
Just give me your password. Shut up.
It's one of the
Fine.
best streaming services I've ever owned. I mean, that and Disney Plus.
Here's why I'm impressed. I agree with you with HBO Max. And my first impression of HBO Max was setting up a profile, and it said, "Do you want to add an adult or add a kid?"
Right.
I love that they use the word kid, not a child, right? Like kid. Yeah, no, it's a kid. You probably shouldn't even make it a thing for a kid, but we have
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't have to be your child. Just some kid.
Some kid, yeah. And Sean, Extra Techie, Extra Star Wars, thank you so much for making that big announcement on the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast, Scarif Live. What do you guys have coming up?
Well, obviously, we'll continue with the boys there on the We Have Spoken, We Have Bob crew doing, chapter 5, 6. I think we're going to try to go live for the final episode. We're going to try to work that out. I'll try to figure out the StreamYard nonsense and get that rolling because we'll see how that works, because I know live is really kind of the bigger thing than a playback, but we are on the tube of views, both podcast format. And I had to tell the guys, I said, you have to wear different shirts every week. Don't do the thing you did before where you wear the same thing. I said, because they're going to notice all 4 viewers. But working my way through High Republic out of the shadows, hoping to chat with our friends Todd and Charles about that book, and then rolling into Fallen Star to chat about that. That I got that in the back there, ready to be read. And I enjoy kind of delving into the books and talking about that. I know not a lot of you or read it or whatever, so hopefully you can catch that and just get the storyline, because we won't get too deep into it. But there's some good things happening ahead. And, of course, with the whole extra stuff. I just got a bunch of different nonsense going on between Lego, drone stuff, and the regular tech and gaming. So always busy nonstop, but I love doing this every single night with you.
Excellent. Yeah, I only read the first High Republic book. Actually, it was read to me.
Ooh.
I do
By
all my reading with my ears.
yes. And I love your reviews. Your videos are great, easy to follow, and a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I particularly enjoyed your unboxing of the Mandalorian Nerf gun, which was frickin' huge.
It's gigantic.
And speaking of unboxing, must have been a month ago, I bought a Death Watch Mandalorian helmet that I was going to do an unboxing, and it's just sitting here. And I haven't had time to do the unboxing. I want to, but adulting is hard.
Yeah. I have the Force Elite, whatever, Darksaber in the box, ready to roll. I'm going to kind of save it for Mando Season 3. Not going to make it a priority, but I'll have the unboxing of that soonish.
Very nice. Yeah. I like unboxing. And there's another video that I am preparing probably sooner rather than later because I've already started editing it. I found a really cool book about fans and how they display their collectibles. Fans from Latin America, Mexico mostly. So I'm going to put together a little video like that. I hope it doesn't get flagged because I'm using obviously pictures of somebody else's work, but I'll mention who.
Just say you bought the NFT. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. All right, so getting back to the question, the first and last character in the opening of the opening graphic for the Disney Plus show, and it's different in Mando than it is in the Book of Boba Fett. But I think I already see a winner. But before that, I want to say thank you to all our patrons here at the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. All right, time for the big thank yous, podcast family, to those of you that support the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. Team Scarif gives you all a heartfelt thank you, wonderful people who have found it in their hearts to support our show. We're super lucky to have you.
Hello there.
Folks like Amanda, Jedi Caligula 89, Joey Rosales, what up, Joey? The Salty Crew at the Salty Nerd Podcast, Alex and Matt. Super fan of many of the Red 5 pods, Nicholas Schaefer. Follow him at Backyard TARDIS. What's up, Nick? Our Star Wars Celebration friend, Chad at Hyperspace and Holocrons. Jay from Florida. Our other Floridian, Frank at the Garrison level. Big thanks. And certainly not least, our executor level patrons, 97 Bravo and the Convergence Podcast. And Scott and Kim from the Used and Abused podcast. Big thanks, you Red Fivers. Go give them a follow. Huge respects to all our patrons for your support. And if you want to become more involved in the Scarif Scuttlebutt community and feel like becoming a patron, head over to patreon.com/Scarif Scuttlebutt. And remember, we can't have the scuttle without the butt. Don't forget, it's always sunny on Scarif with patrons like you. Yes, big thanks to all our patrons. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting the craziness here at the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast with all our friends tonight. Big love and DB, Della Snooch, and Sean, the extra techie Star Wars guy. This week, anyways. But like I said, I think we do have a winner, and that would be Joker voice. Darth Vader and Boba Fett are the first and the last in the animation for the Book of Boba Fett. Thank you very much. I know a lot of people said Fennec, and Fennec is the second to the last. So good try, but
Nice job, Joker.
Nice job, Joker. Joker, do me a favor. DM me at Scarif Podcast with your shipping details, and I will pop this in the mail for you along with some wonderful Scuttlebutt stickers and maybe a Red 5 sticker as well. Congratulations. Let's see. So where can folks find you guys now that we are wrapping up for the night? What's going on?
Don, you got to give that information out.
Well, you can always find me at Jetfire1979 on Twitter and Delasnooch on Instagram. Big Lovin' is O0 BIG_LOVIN 0O on Twitter.
If somebody needs to rebrand, it's not Sean.
Oh! Oh my God! You used every character on the keyboard. That's great.
You got to.
That's good. Thank you guys for joining us. Sean, Extra Techie.
Yeah, bio.link/extra techie. Find all the links there. bio.link/extra techie.
And
nice
it's very nice. It's like it's compact, very nice, easy to digest. And a big thanks to you, Sean, for you do all the work putting together the Red 5 bio link. Every time we add a new pod, you go in there, you do a little programming magic, and it's really nice. Thank you so much. If anybody in the chat is not familiar with the Red 5 Network, check out Red 5 Network on Twitter. There's a little pinned link on there. Go explore, find out what we got over there. We got some really cool shows. Like these fellows.
/Red5. Easy.
Easy. Very nice. Very nice.
There's actually a red. I mistyped the other day and I went, what the hell is this? And I was like, oh, there's actually just red. Okay, cool. Red 5.
Red 5. Thank you very much. Everybody in the chat. Joker, I will pop this in the mail. I'll get your mailing address from who'd you say? Who told me to check? Somebody. I'll check it. But we'll get this out to you, and please, when it arrives, take a picture and post it, and make sure to tag us.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Rose Trash Compactor.
Right. That should be actually, I'm going to use that.
You're welcome.
For a show. Very nice.
Nice.
See, you come up with some good ones, man.
Listen, I've got a lot of time to think.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got something
Too
going
much.
on every 5 minutes. How are you
Too much
thinking?
going on. Brain's always operating. 4 hours of sleep, that's all I need. I'm basically an android at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you can follow us at Scarif Podcast wherever you find your other favorite podcast, and give us a follow on the Twitter and all the socials. We're on Instagram, Twitter. That's about it, right? Yeah. We don't do Facebook. And where else are we? That's it. That's all you need, man. Scarif Scuttlebutt Podcast.
YouTube.
And YouTube's, yeah, we're on YouTube. I love to hear people's reactions to our shows. So if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can give us a call and leave a voicemail at 773-234-8659. Operators are standing by. My friends, thank you very much. It's the Red 5 Network. This is Ro from the Scarif Scuttlebutt Podcast on behalf of all of us here, Shanti and Brad. I hope you guys are feeling good. I love you guys. May the force be with you. And that's the Scuttlebutt.